This is Slowly Chick, and now for something completely different. Normally, my gaming videos that you see are all Minecraft or Guild Wars 2, but since the new expansion for Magic the Gathering, Aether Revolt, is coming out very, very soon, and the entire set of cards has been spoilered, I decided I'm going to do my list of the top 10 cards I'm looking forward to in Aether Revolt. This is going to be just my personal opinion, cards that I think are powerful, that I'm looking forward to getting to use. Take that as you will. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start with a couple of little honorable mentions here. Okay, my first honorable mention is going to the card Release the Gremlins. It's a little bit pricey with the double X and a red. It's not too bad for removal, plus you get gremlins, which you can use the gremlins for crewing vehicles and such. I'm mainly looking forward to this, so that way whenever I cast it, I go, release the gremlins, in the most dramatic way possible. Next up in the honorable mentions is Exquisite Archangel. It does have a pretty high mana cost, but I can't really see this seeing a lot of play in Standard or, well, maybe in Modern, but I mainly see this as like an alt-win condition sort of thing, mostly seeing it in Commander. I can't really picture it with the mana cost as it is, being a really big thing in Standard. Next up is Ajani Unyielding. Now, anyone who knows me knows I love every single Ajani card. This one's not too bad. His -9 is amazing for Super Friends, again, going into Commander, but being a 6-drop is just kind of meh. I mean, there are cards that will help reduce that cost, but I think the cost might be a little high to see it played a lot in Standard or anything. Next honorable mention goes to Death Dismissal, pretty much just because it's got Gideon on it, and I like any card that has Gideon on it because Gideon is my homeboy. That's it. I do also want to give one quick note. A lot of cards that I put on the list definitely are improved by the card Panharmonicon from Kaladesh. The doubling the enter the battlefield effect is just amazing with a lot of these cards, especially with anything dealing with Fabricate. I mean, it's just kind of awesome. Okay, now to get started with the actual top 10. Coming in at number 10 is Baral, Chief of Compliance. It's literally a creature's version of Jace's Sanctum with a card draw. Anything that lets you reduce the cost on your instants and sorceries is just good in my book. I definitely want this for my commander deck. Just any kind of control decks, any kind of blue EDH decks. Just that reducing the cost is just a good effect, and you can just use him as chump block if you want, but just mainly using him for the effect and, getting a card draw. That's not too shabby at all. Okay, coming in at number 9 on my list is Unbridled Growth. It's pretty much a 1-drop mana fix. If you're running anything with green, you can use this if you don't get any of your dual lands or any of that on your first turn. And then later in the game, once you have more of a mana base, you can just sack it to get a card draw, which isn't too bad. Not something you typically see a lot with green. It's really more of a blue thing. But yeah, just getting the chance to be able to get any kind of mana that you need, that first turn. Well, it will technically be second turn because you can cast that first turn as long as you have a forest. But still, it definitely is something that will definitely help out with just straight up mana fixing. Okay, and I know I'm going a little quick through these, but I will start slowing down with some of the higher up ones. Anyways, coming in at number 8, we have Consulate Dreadnought. This is a 1-drop that is a 7/11 creature. Yeah. That's powerful. The only downside is that it is a crew 6. It would definitely give you a use for Lupine Prototype if you're running that. Probably also if you have some Fabricate stuff going on, some Fabricate shenanigans. Also, there are also going to be cards that will make your artifacts creatures, which is kind of a get around the crewing thing. But still, you can get this out. Can't really do much with it until a few turns in, at least. That if it didn't have such a high crew cost, I think I would put it higher on my list. But still, that's actually not too shabby at all. Okay, and number 7 on my list, that is going to be going to Illusionists Stratagem. It's a double flicker. You pretty much can use it with anything that has Fabricate and double your servos. And especially with a lot of vehicles, a lot of things that need higher crewing costs, Consulate Dreadnought, you can pretty much double your servos, use your servos to crew it. It's definitely worth it for that. If not for servos to crew things, you can use it with any kind of card that gives you clues, and then you get the extra clue tokens to use as you wish, either for dropping for the card drops or for turning them into creatures, which I will get into later in this list. But yeah, just anything that lets you double the enter the battlefield account. Again, if you have this and use it with something that fabricates with Panharmonicon out, things could get really nasty really quickly. So yeah, definitely on there. Other than that, with servos or clue tokens, anything that has good into the battlefield effects, if you're not running anything that has an into the battlefield effect, it might not be as useful, which is the only reason it's not higher up in the list. But it's definitely a pretty good solid card, and I think anybody who's running any Fabricate type decks are probably going to use that, or anything that has enter the battlefield effects to get you, say, energy, would definitely also want that as well. Okay, time for number 6 on my list. That's going to be going to Whir of Invention. Yeah, tap all those servos that you're getting from Fabricate and get yourself a big baddie. It's specifically for artifact cards, so it's not really going to be as good for getting as it would be as if you could get creatures. But there are artifact creatures you can get. Can we say Gear Hulks? Yeah. And also, you can also bring out those big vehicles. You can bring out Sky Sovereign. You can bring out pretty much any kind of big bad artifact that you can think of, and there are a lot of big bad artifacts between Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. There's a lot of pretty nasty artifacts that you can get. But it all depends on how many servos you have. If you can cheat out a bunch of servos from flickering, as you could with my number 7 pick there. That lets you get something big and bad and search for it. It's pretty much an artifact tutor with a way to cheat out the bigger artifact. I can't see too much of a downside in this other than 3 blue mana. It's a little bit of a higher cost, but depending on how many servos you get, you could get something that's stupidly expensive, like Planar Bridge or Paradox Engine or any of the big nasties. It could definitely come in handy. And speaking of Paradox Engine, that is my pick for the halfway point of number 5. Whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. Yeah, that could get really nasty really quick. the main reason this is not going to be up there as my number one pick is the fact that I can easily see this getting banned. Because it could get stupid nasty. I mean, stupid nasty. You cast anything that gives you, like, +1/+1, some stupid little spell that does very little, untap everything. Untap Embercool. Untap any of your Hulks. I mean, you can get some really nasty effects off of this. And like I said, straight up, out of all the cards in the set, this is the one that I most likely see getting banned. Very easily see this getting banned, because it could get stupid. But it is a really good card, and as long as they allow it, it's definitely worth it, even with the higher cost, because you could just get some sort of improvise effect on it somehow. But yeah, it could get stupid nasty. Okay, with number 4, I'm kind of cheating a little bit, and it's going to actually be 2 cards at number 4. It's going to be a tie between Aerial Modification and Siege Modification. These are pretty much insta-crews. As long as Enchanted Permanent is a vehicle, it's a creature in addition to its other types. It's a way to get around crewing until they do... Yeah, I can picture them maybe doing some sort of Oracle text saying that it doesn't get around crewing, but it looks like it gets around crewing. Plus, with Aerial Modification, +2/+2 in flying, put that in Oval Chase Dragster or something. Enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and has first strike, put that on your Smuggler's Copter. And they both fit right in red-white vehicle decks. Yeah, Siege Modification I think is a little bit better, because First Strike is definitely useful. It's also only a 3-drop. Aerial Modification is a 5-drop. Yeah, but still, getting around crewing a vehicle using these cards, something definitely useful. If you're running any kind of vehicles at all, it's something that definitely... especially with things like the Consulate Dreadnought, where you need the crew 6. If you don't have something with power 6 to do it, pop a Siege Modification on there, and it's pretty much a creature, and you can attack with it, which is not too shabby at all. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost to my top card. But right now we're at number 3, and number 3 is Inspiring Statuary. It's an artifact. Non-artifact spells you cast have Improvise. Not too bad. It will help you get your planeswalkers out faster, get your creatures out faster. The only downside is that it is non-artifact. If it was all cards and not just non-artifacts, it would be amazing with Planar Bridge, and Planar Bridge would straight up be out on my list. But Planar Bridge didn't make the cut just because it cost too much. And since it's an artifact, Inspiring Statuary does nothing to it. But getting your planeswalkers out faster by tapping artifacts, everything really works well on this list with Fabricate. Fabricate is definitely something you want with any of these cards, just to be able to tap to get things out faster. But yeah, this is definitely something good for cheating out. Say you wanted to run that Ajani that I mentioned in my honorable mentions. You can use this to get him out quicker. But yeah, it's the only downside is that it is non-artifact spells, and it is an artifact-heavy set. So was Kaladesh. So it doesn't really help you with any of your vehicles or anything. I could definitely see this in a lot of creature-based commander decks. I could see it in any kind of Super Friends deck to help you get your planeswalkers out faster. The only thing I'm curious about is that if you have more than one out, if that means you get double. I don't think so. But anyways, it's actually a pretty good card for getting stuff out faster. And especially in Standard, there's a lot of decks that run really quick. And think about it this way, non-artifact spells. Eldrazi, anyone? Yeah, you can use this, tap all your servos, and you can get your Emrakul or your Kozilek out, or your Ulamog. Get your Eldrazi's out stupid quick with this. Stupid quick. Yeah. Can we say quick and easy Emrakul? That's pretty much all I have to say, is quick and easy Emrakul. Not to mention all the fun you can have with Elder Deep Fiend using this. Yeah, this is good with any kind of Eldrazi deck. Yeah, this could get nasty. Okay, coming in at number 2 on my list is Tezzeret's Touch. Enchanted Artifact is a creature with base power and toughness 5/5 in addition to its other types. And when Enchanted Artifact is put into graveyard, return that card to its owner's hand. Yeah, you can pretty much auto-crew and buff up your Smuggler's Copters with this very easily. You can also use it, I wouldn't really, the put into graveyard, return that card to its owner's hand thing wouldn't really take effect with it, but you can easily plop this on a Clue token or a Servo token. Pretty much anything. You could put it on Panharmonicon if you want. You can put it on, say if you were running Commander, you could put it on a Soul Ring if you wanted to. You could put it on one of the 0-drop Ornithopters and get a 5/5 flyer on turn 3 when you can get this card out, unless you have some sort of like way to mana ramp it. But yeah, this could get really, it definitely helps out. It definitely will let you get a more powerful creature out quicker. Plus, again, auto-crewing, because it makes the artifact a creature. And it doesn't specify that it has to be a vehicle, so it can pretty much be any artifact that you have. Even if it's one that just has like one enter the battlefield effect, and you don't need it for anything else. Plop this on it and make it a 5/5 creature. Yeah, it definitely comes in handy, even if you use it as chump blocker, you know? I definitely like this card, and I'm not just saying that just because I do like the character of Tezzeret, even though he is a bad guy. I could see so many uses for this card that I definitely see. I don't know if it'll see as much play in, say, Standard or anything. Definitely can see this in a lot of EDH decks. And dun da da da, dun da da. My pick for the number 1 card from Aether Revolt that I'm most looking forward to is, you guessed it, Tezzeret the Schemer. He's all around a pretty darn good Planeswalker card. His +1 is crazy. You pretty much get an artifact you can sack for 1 mana of any color, which great for mana fixing. You only need to pump him up 2, give him 2 more Planeswalker points to get him an emblem that says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5. It's pretty much the effect of Tezzeret's Touch minus the return to your hand, but it does not say till end of turn. That artifact is permanently a 5/5 artifact creature. Put it on your Clue tokens. Put it on, you can make a bunch of the Ethereum cells using his +1 and turn them all into 5/5 creatures. You can flood the field with him very easily, especially since he only needs 2 more points to get up to that ultimate. Well, technically you'd want 3, because you'd probably want to keep him around just to create the Ethereum cells, to create your army. Even his -2 isn't that bad. Target creature gets +X -X until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Again, you create a bunch of Ethereum cells with his +1, and especially if you're running a lot of Kaladesh and Aether Revolt cards in general, you're going to probably have a lot of artifacts in there. So, yeah, you can easily wipe out quite a few creatures with that. But even just in Commander, I could see him being very, very powerful with any kind of artifact-based Commander deck. And there's quite a few of them, especially since the new Commander sets came out. The Brea set was just stupid good, and he's definitely a good addition to that deck in general. Also, I'm pretty sure there's probably cards out there that let you have all your creatures become artifacts. If anyone knows if there is and what it is, put it in the comments below, because I'm definitely curious about that. But yeah, he's just stupid powerful. And, between the mana fixing, get rid of a big bad creature if you have enough artifacts out, and then getting the emblem where your artifacts slowly, one by one, become 5/5 creatures, it can get crazy. And yes, that is why he's my number one pick, is just getting to turn all your artifacts into creatures. It's just kind of awesome in my book. And there you have it. That's my top 10 list of cards I'm most looking forward to seeing in Aether Revolt. Feel free to agree or disagree. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what cards you think shouldn't have been on my list, what cards you think should have been. Again, this is just my opinion. I think all around this is just going to be a really good, solid set. I'm loving the new mechanics. Not just Fabricate from Kaladesh, but the new ones that are coming up. Improvise definitely is an awesome mechanic. Revolt is actually looking pretty good too. Even all legendary creatures too, not just Baral, but like Yeheni and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the Sky Pirate. They all look really good. Hopefully you all will be going out to your local game stores for pre-release, because pre-release events are super fun, and it's always good to support your local game store. And hopefully you will smash that like button and subscribe. And hopefully I'll be able to maybe do some more Magic-based videos in addition to video game-based videos. Maybe I'll even do some sort of deck tech, talk you through some of my favorite combos and stuff. But anyways, that's going to be later in the line. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Again, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Slowly check out. Bye!